the show has changed so much. I feel it used to be about the happy endings, and now I feel like it's more about the like twists at the end.
So Jade, always a pleasure catching up with you. So excited to chat Bachelor, family life, but I got to talk about this project that you and Kayla Hughes have together. So tell me all about it.
Yeah. So Kayla, she's, I'm sure if people want to know like a little Bachelor background too, she's JJ Lane's wife, and he was on Caitlyn's season. So it's funny how that's kind of how we met, but we have started a NFT project. It's all women led. So I thought it would be so fun to talk about that since it's Women's History Month. And we're a women owned project, and it's a great NFT project. And it's funny because I feel like a lot of people who don't understand NFTs and crypto are like, what even is this? But it's something that's becoming a little bit more mainstream. Celebrities are getting behind NFTs, but one of our big focuses is bringing more women into the space, like showing them that there's financial opportunities for them here, showing them that they can have a seat at the table and get in early before it's another male-dominated tech space. And so that's one of our like big goals is like to onboard more women into the space, bring more awareness about the financial opportunities. And then we are also partnering with Every Mother Counts. So a part of all the NFTs proceeds go to Every Mother Counts, which helps provide safe birth practices for mothers and infants everywhere across the world. And they stand for a lot of like great policy changes, like paid maternity and paid maternity leave. And so it's something I'm really passionate about, and it's awesome that we're able to kind of pay it forward with that too.
I love that. I think that is so great. Now, does this tie into your project Sacred Skulls as well? Is that kind of go hand in hand?
Yeah. So the NFT project is called Sacred Skulls. Okay. So it's 8,888 skulls, which are artists. She's female too. Her name is Helena. And she lives in Australia. So it's crazy how it's kind of this whole global market and how it brings people together all across the world. But her art is outstanding. We are so lucky to have her.
That's awesome. I love that. And such a strong, powerful message. And you know, maternity leave is an issue that so many people deal with, and it's crazy that it's still not paid for. It's nuts.
It's honestly so like it gets my blood boiling. Yes, it gets me so angry because it's such a crucial time for, and even dads, for families to bond, for babies to be able to have that time with their mother. I think it's like the statistic is like 25% of women go back to work 2 weeks after having a baby. We're still healing, you know, like our bodies aren't even recovered yet. We're adjusting to this new chapter of our life called motherhood, which is nobody can really prepare you for. So you're navigating that, and then you're expected to go back to work to provide for your family. It's just like something that needs to change, especially in the United States. We have one of like the worst policies when it regards to maternity leave.
It's crazy. Do you remember like the first time that you had to go back to work and leave the babies at home? I mean, I know for me, like I was a mess the day before I had to go back to work from maternity leave.
Yeah. I mean, being like our job being like influencers, I guess. Yeah. I pretty much went back to work almost immediately. I think with like Brooks, it was like 2 days. Like I started doing things on Instagram again. I started doing interviews because of his birth was so crazy. Everybody wanted to talk to me. And I remember like just being like, okay, I guess this is my job. This is what provides for my family. I guess I have to just do this. But I had postpartum depression after him. And I really think a lot of that pressure of feeling like I had to go back to work contributed to it. Yeah,
I totally agree with you. I think that it does give a lot of people even more anxiety about, you know, that mom guilt. I'm leaving my baby, but I have to provide for my baby. It's crazy. We could probably talk about this forever. But how are the kids doing?
They're so good. They just had gymnastics today, and it's so cute to watch like their little bodies just like they have so much fun. And they're great. Emmy goes to preschool now, and Reed is almost 17 months. It's just crazy. Time flies so fast.
How is he doing? What is it like having him now in the toddler stage? Are things starting to get a little bit easier or harder?
He's getting to that stage where he's more opinionated now. So it's funny because like he doesn't like something I'm doing, he'll like shake his hand and yell no at me now. And I'm like, wait, what happened to my sweet baby? But it's really cute because he's becoming more of a toddler. Brooks really engages more with him. So it's really fun to watch their bond as brothers because they're only 15 months apart. So it's really fun to watch them together.
I love that. I'm sure they're all probably super close.
Yeah. It's a fun dynamic. I'm
sure. I know last time we spoke, I think Tanner said that there was a 10% chance that another baby could happen. But he was possibly going to get the vasectomy. Have you guys talked about that anymore?
He hasn't gotten the vasectomy, but I think he's still at that, like, it might even be 5% now. I think he's just like, Reed is getting a little bit older and he's ready to kind of do things with our kids that are more like older kid things and newborns being like carried everywhere. And I mean, there's always like, I still feel like there's room in my heart for another baby, but I don't know if I would. I mean, I could probably have 10 kids and still feel that way. I just love newborns.
Yeah. Oh, definitely. Those newborn snuggles are the best. I mean, does Emmy ask for a baby sister at all?
She does. Emmy would love a baby sister. She asks, and she's even she loves coloring, but she's started drawing pictures of pregnant ladies, which is so funny. She'll draw like a little circle on their belly and says they're pregnant. And she's even drawn she was like, this is a picture of me when I'm older and I'm pregnant. And I'm like, oh, I guess I talk about it a lot, but she's just used to it. But I know she would definitely love a little sister.
Definitely. Well, maybe down the line a little bit, give you some time to heal and things like that.
Yeah.
How are Ashley and Jared doing with their new baby?
They're doing so good. I mean, if you see on their Instagram, they just look like naturals. They're doing so well. I think she was really overwhelmed about worrying about what it would be like. And I think everything's been so much easier than she thought. I don't know if maybe too many people told her nightmare stories, but they're doing so good.
Good.
Yeah.
Have you gotten a chance to FaceTime with the baby at all?
Yeah. And I think we're trying to go down in April to see them because that's when Rhode Island gets a little bit warmer and it'll be easy to take the kids, and it'll be our first trip with all three. Oh, I guess we went to Kansas City, but it'll be our first cross-country trip with all three. But I'm really excited to see Dawson.
Yeah. So what do you think about his name? I love that he was named after Titanic and Tom Brady. I love that.
I mean, it's very them. I feel like it's very on brand for Ashley and Jared. But I love that. That's what I love about them. They're just themselves, and it just seems so appropriate that their son would be named after their other loves in life. And Dawson, it's a cute name.
It's adorable. It really is. Yeah. I know last time we spoke to you and Tanner, you guys said that you had to kind of schedule some time together. Do you feel like now that the kids are a little bit older, you're able to have that little bit more time for yourself and things are getting a little bit easier in that department?
No. Everything is always chaos and just I don't know, there's just never time unless you make time, I feel. So I don't know if there's ever going to be when do people get spontaneity back in their lives? I don't know. Our lives are just ran by children.
Exactly. I feel like that as well. I'm I never have time to just breathe.
No.
It's you can't even find time to shower without anybody screaming your name. So.
Oh yeah. I mean, they find you. It's they know. They have this sixth sense of I haven't seen mom in 2 minutes. Where'd she go?
Right, exactly. How's Carly doing?
She's good. Yeah, we still do our podcast together, and I haven't seen her in a while either. Though life gets so crazy, but we still talk every day, and she's doing really well. I think she's at a good spot in her life. Good.
Is she getting back on the dating scene at all?
I think so. We've joked about her downloading dating apps, and I think she's to that point where she's ready,
Definitely. Speaking of dating, I have to get your thoughts on I'm sure you've been watching this season of The Bachelor and possibly watched this past week. And oh my God, I mean, so many people have so many opinions about this, and I would love to get yours. I mean, whose side are you kind of on in this? And do you see both sides?
I can see both sides to a degree. Because I understand that it is a show. And I think that the show knew ahead of time how Susie felt about when it comes to relationships and sex and everything like that. So I think the show knew they strategically may have placed her last in those fantasy suites. But I don't think Clayton handled it well at all. I feel like there is no excuse for his behavior. It was actually sort of triggering for me to watch.
Really?
Yeah, watching a woman try to have a mature conversation and express her feelings. And she was very much just sticking to how she was feeling. And you could tell, like, being very receptive to what he was saying. And then all of a sudden he like flipped the script on her and was like, how could you do this to me? And just like watching her emotions, and then the way he like stormed off and like, I'm done, it's done. And the way he opened the car door aggressively. And it just was like, I don't know, it did not sit with me well.
No, definitely not.
Yeah. So I know, like, I think I saw an interview he did where he was like, people overuse the word gaslighting. And I do agree. Maybe that word is thrown around too much, like toxic is thrown around too much in society now, in our pop culture. But I mean, he handled it awful. I felt so bad for Susie.
I did too. I mean, do you feel like she should have brought this up prior to the fantasy suites? Because I guess in some of his interviews, he was like, you know, each of the girls told me to go all in and explore, you know, these relationships. But I mean, I don't know. I don't know. The whole thing is so convoluted to me, I guess.
Yeah. I mean, I do understand where he's coming from when he's saying that. And I think it's kind of like everything sort of unfolds as you're going through the process. It's like someone who's experienced it myself. And so she may have not even realized how important it was to her until she realized, I have deep feelings for this guy. There's true emotions here. And it makes me sick to my stomach thinking about him being intimate with somebody else, you know? And my guts tells me I will never get over that. So I can't be with somebody after that, you know? And so maybe it's something she didn't realize until she was so deep into it. So it's hard to say, like, maybe she should have said it earlier. But I also don't think it's an excuse for the way he handled it.
Right. You mentioned before, you know that they're making a TV show, and I totally understand that. But I feel like now every single Bachelor season, they just kind of want to one-up themselves in the way that the show ends. And they're not really rooting for those happy endings that we want to see. Do you kind of feel like that as well? Because they're kind of like setting it up for almost failure, because now he can never move on with any of these other women after they see this. And I'm sure he can't move on with Susie now too.
Yeah. I mean, the poor guy is just like in a lose-lose situation, I feel. Yeah, maybe the show has changed so much, I feel. It used to be about the happy endings, and now I feel like it's more about the like twists at the end. So perhaps, like, I don't know, maybe they just thought, I don't know. Because like there is a show side, and then there's obviously the side where everybody can make their own decisions. So it's like, maybe the show was kind of like, I don't know.
It's like they tee it up and you can figure out how you want to handle the situation pretty much. Yeah,
exactly. Yeah. And I mean, the show's been on for how many years? Maybe they're just trying to make it different now, but I have sympathy or empathy for Clayton in some ways. But still, I was like, thought it was just like, it was really cringy.
It was. I mean, how do you, I mean, predictions, how do you think this season's going to end?
I mean, from the way that they've teased it, I feel like he doesn't end up with anybody. I feel like with both girls, I think he just, I don't know, maybe he self-sabotages, but it seems like everybody's going to walk away from it with no one. I think the girls are going to quit. I think there's not even going to be a final rose or proposal. I think they're just going to quit production.
Yeah, I think so. I feel like that too, which could definitely be a first. Out of all these women, I mean, who would you like to see as the next Bachelorette?
I mean, I love Gabby. I think she's hilarious. I think she would be a really fun Bachelorette. And then I also, after watching what happened to Susie, I think she just handled it so well. And she seems like a genuinely good person. So I feel like watching her get the chance would be fun. But yeah, and then I also liked Serena. I actually was really sad when and I love Teddy. So I don't know if Teddy is ready to be Bachelorette.
Yeah, no, definitely. And I'm sure a lot of these women will be on Paradise. So any advice for them heading to Paradise, especially somebody I'm sure probably Shanae will be on Paradise. Any advice for a villain going to Paradise? Because I feel like a lot of people try to go on Paradise and try to, maybe change the narrative for themselves. I don't know if Shanae can, but any advice for her?
I don't see Shanae changing her attitude or who she is at all really for Paradise. I'm sure she'll just go in and be who she is. It seems like she kind of likes being the instigator. Yeah. And maybe she'll find somebody maybe there's, I don't know, I can't remember who the villains were from the guys from the past couple seasons, but maybe she'll find somebody else that, I don't know, they can be villains together. Right. But I don't know. I mean, I feel like any advice is just have fun, be yourself. I feel like it's such a more relaxed situation because there's not just one person put on a pedestal. You get to kind of just explore your options and you spend so much more time with the person you like. So I think it's just have fun.